Anyway, let's move on to Bodo Glimt. There's still a chance we could win a trophy this year, so let's not be too negative. We've got a massive semi-final, probably the biggest game of our season, biggest game maybe since the Champions League final for Tottenham, coming up on Thursday at home to Bodo Glimt, the Norwegian side, I'm pretty sure. I didn't know too much about Bodo Glimt kind of going into this. I think all of us were maybe expecting, Lazio or just, a bit of an unknown with Bodo Glimt. They're not a very well-known European side, but, this season they beat Porto during the kind of groups or the league stage. Obviously, they beat Lazio to get to us. They had a close game with Manchester United. I think they beat Braga with 10 men. They had some really, really close games, and they've beaten some good opposition. So obviously we can't underestimate them at all. For them to get to a European semi-final proves that they're going to be a decent side. So I think the one positive for Tottenham is there is a couple of injury concerns. I don't know if anyone saw some reports from Alistair Gold where it looks like their starting centre-back might be injured for this game, which is, massive for Tottenham. Obviously, a couple of, 3 suspensions from the Lazio game for this game. So they are looking a little short-legged in terms of, players out. Obviously, for Tottenham, possibly Son's going to be out. We don't really know too much about his injury and when he's looking to come back. Maybe for some Tottenham fans, they might say that's a bit of a blessing in disguise. Maybe with Tell showing a bit more in the last couple of weeks, the kind of player that he could be. But what's everyone's thoughts ahead of this game? Is anyone going to the game, first of all? But also, how are we feeling? Because this is, massive. I feel like, again, moving on from that Liverpool game, I'm sure some Tottenham fans do still have some confidence going into this. So, first of all, Harry, how are you feeling about the game?
Quite well. I don't know about confidence. I don't really know what Bodo Glimt are like, but I do think that we need to get a good home win. I do think. Even if we leave that with 2-0, I'll still be a bit about going away because the freezing cold is going to be there. Obviously, it's going to be a completely different sort of environment to what the players are used to. So I think we need to go out there on Thursday and get a good win. So yeah, the injuries and that for them probably going to do us quite a big favour. Well, hopefully. But yeah, I don't really know too much about them, so I can't really comment on them. But I just hope we go full throttle and actually proper go for it. And as well, I think because I think they're doing a tifo for the game as well, so I think the fans need to proper get behind the team and actually make like a good atmosphere in that stadium because we know how loud it can get because we know what it was like at the start of last season. So I think everyone needs to be up for it. I think the fans need to be up for it as much as the players do, to be honest, because if you can make quite a good atmosphere in that ground,